Welcome to the latest video, and in this lean lesson we're going to talk about TPM. Now some people call it total productive manufacturing. I'm going to call it total productive maintenance. I get the reason why they use the word manufacturing. They are often measuring your OEE, which is a brilliant measure to use if you want to see how much of your productive capacity is available to you. But I'm going to call it total productive maintenance because for me, this lean lesson, this is about your ability to keep your equipment. This is really what it's about. Keep your equipment good as new. That's really what you're trying to do. And again, one of the things I'm going to say about this is a workshop. This is the hardest workshop I run. So if I run this workshop in a client, this is the most difficult one to do. It requires the most amount of time, the most amount of skill, the most amount of thought before we attempt to do this. And of course, the trouble with this phrase right here, currently you have your equipment which is in a current state, and state might be the operative word. And of course, part of the workshop is to bring it back to as good as new. So again, this is like setup reduction. It's a workshop. So we're going to take a team. We're going to spend probably 4 days doing this. So this is a workshop with a team. And really, a majority of it, a good 4-day workshop, a majority of it is to bring your equipment from current state to good as new. And that's really what we're trying to do. So as part of the workshop, we use some acronyms to help us lead the teams. So one of the acronyms we use, asset care, is a little acronym. Clean, assess, repair, eliminate. So think about this like a barn find for a car. You've found a car that's your long lost classic car. Maybe it's I've got a picture here, look, it's a Triumph Spitfire. You've found the car, it's in a barn, it hadn't run for 40 years. It's got chickens on the back seat and a lot of rust and things like that. And you've got to bring it back from the current state to good as new. What would you do? Well, you'd do this. Yeah, you clean it. And of course, what you're doing by cleaning it, you're touching every part. So one of the things about cleaning is inspection. So by cleaning every item in the car, you have to touch it. So you're doing this as you're cleaning it. Then of course, you're going to have to decide. There'll be certain things that you have to repair. Maybe the windscreen is cracked, so we've got to get that changed. Maybe the seats have been eaten by, I don't know, by sheep or something. We're going to have to get those replaced or repaired. You know, that type of thing. What would you see on a machine? Maybe you've got cables that the cover has been worn, or it's sat in some oil and it's perished. It's still working, but it's about to give up. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to clean, we're going to assess it, we're going to repair those, we're going to put new cables on, etc., etc. So we're going to repair them. Then what are we going to do? Well, we're going to eliminate the problem. So if you take a cable that's gone through, it's going through some oil, maybe there's a big patch of oil on the floor and the cables are running in the oil, we're going to clean them, we're going to repair them if we need to. Then what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate the problem. So we're going to fix the oil leak, etc. Now, something I do as part of this, I would also paint. I suppose we should say repaint. I like to do this and people who do this, who are real professionals. You get consultants who only do TPM, by the way. because it's such an involved thing to do. They would normally advise you to repaint something white. Why do we want it white? Because what we want to do is we want to visualize abnormalities. So if you paint something white and you start to get oil leaks, it's very obvious where they're coming from. Yeah, so then you can get in and repair them. You know, maybe the repair, you did 90% of the oil leaks, but maybe you got a particular joint that's a bit tricky and it starts to go again. Well, if you've repainted it white, you'll see that within the first day of use, and you can get in and get it to be as good as new. So that is about taking your equipment back to good as new. And then what you've got to do is do something called improve the man-machine interface. What does that mean in just simple language? It means easy. Easy to run. Easy to repair, etc. Okay, so you're making everything as easy and often what does that also entail? You're making it visual. Okay, so again, think about the car. We've taken our Triumph Spitfire, we've got it back to good as new. Think about more modern cars. If I lift the bonnet, the areas where I can do maintenance, oil, the oil level, the oil filler cap, water, the water filler cap, they're often color coded so that I can see them. So when I open the bonnet, it's obvious where my basic maintenance points are. That would be improving the man-machine interface. Okay, that would be improving the man-machine interface. And then finally, what you're going to design is integrated support. And what this means is defining roles and responsibilities for who does what. So again, the reason I use a car as an example is that you have an operator. The operator is you. Okay, so you're the operator of your car. Now, integrated support, roles and responsibilities are clear with a car. We've put the color-coded items under the bonnet. They're the places where you're allowed to do maintenance. They're basic checks. We've made them easy to do. So there's a dipstick so you can see how much oil is in the engine. If we don't do that, improvement, we need a skilled person. We need a skilled person to know how much oil is in the engine. Or maybe we don't know how much oil is in the engine, so we just take the filler cap off the bottom, we empty the engine, we put it back in, and we put a known amount of oil back in the top so that we know there is a gallon of oil in the engine. I would like to bet that if we go back far enough, maybe the Model T Ford, maybe there isn't a dipstick for the oil. There would be a point where there wouldn't be one in the history of cars, because it was a skilled thing looking after a car. So integrated support is roles and responsibilities. What can the operator do? What should the operator do? What should they check? What should they be responsible for? Oh, by the way, things like spares. Here, look. Critical spares at the point of activity. Critical spares at the point of activity, again, making it easy to run, easy to repair. So things that you go through, rubber seals and things like that maybe they wear out if you've got high-speed machinery that's making thousands a day. Things like rubber seals, you're going to go through them quite quickly. Put the rubber seal at the point of activity. Put the tools to change the rubber seal at the point of activity. This is like 5S on steroids for your machinery. Get the equipment as good as new, improve the man-machine interface, then decide the roles and responsibilities. What can the operator do? Maybe there's a technician, does the setup. What does the technician who's there every day, what can they do and check? And then if the machine needs other types of maintenance that are more difficult, that require maybe a once a year check where you're taking covers off the machine and you're looking deeply into the machine, who does that? Maybe that's the maintenance technician's role. So everyone's got roles and responsibilities. What are you aiming to achieve with those roles and responsibilities? You're aiming to achieve this. So you can imagine getting it good as new is hard work. Lots of effort to do that. Repainting a machine, lots of hard effort. Then you've got to sit down. You've got to look at this, and you've got to color code things and put labels on things and simple instructions on things. Then once you've made it easy to see how the machine is maintained, you then decide who the hell's going to do it. So it's a really involved 4 or 5 days, a team of about 5, depends how big your production area is, but maybe you're going to stop the production area, by the way, to do this. Maybe a team of 5, maybe a team of 10. Depends how big it is, depends how much of the machines you're going to work on in one workshop. But you need the right skills, operators, technicians, maintenance people, all there at the same time. So you can imagine that's going to build quite a big team. You're probably going to end up certainly between 5 and 10 in the team. It's your job to lead them through this work, and this work, to keep them active, interested, and get them to create something that they value and they will use day after day after day. And then you will have the most productive equipment, least amount of breakdowns, etc., etc. But we're trying to get your equipment back to as good as new, and then we're trying to keep it there. So that's TPM. It's a really complicated workshop, but if you're an equipment heavy manufacturer, you will know whether your maintenance is any good. This is the tool that would put you in the world-class region, and surely that is where you always want to be. TPM.